as the Bucs just couldn't catch the Chiefs in the end. Michael Vick joining us this morning. Mike, good morning. We'll start right there. What'd you make of Brady's performance in this one?
It was an okay performance. It was nothing special. Obviously it just seems like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can't get off to a fast start. And when you can't get off to a fast start playing against a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, then in the end you're going to find yourself having to mount a comeback. And, it was obvious that at times Brady played okay. And then the 2 interceptions was just deflating to the team at the times that they came in. Those drives was drives that they needed to score points. And, I knew that they was going to have to score points in this game in order to keep up with Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And it was just evident that Brady needed to do more. But I think the biggest thing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is that they get off to a slow start. It's like, they try to get into a rhythm early and nothing's working. They try to find their identity and they can't find it. So, it just leaves them in a tough spot. And then the 2 interceptions, I keep going back to that, really cost them the game. And it came at critical times when they needed to score points the most throughout that football game. So, man, it was difficult to watch. Obviously it ended good for Tom. There was some suspense in the end, and he gave us something to, to rave about, but it was just too late.
It was too late, and it was too late because of a slow start where Brady, I think, had 30 yards in the first quarter, and they couldn't convert third downs. They kept failing to convert third downs, I should say. And then in the third quarter, when they had a chance to get back in the game, Brady throws 2 picks that are picked off around the 10-yard line, and that's the end of the football game. And so I understand, Tony Romo and such want to explain how it is literally everyone's fault but Tom Brady's. However, he has 7 picks in the last month. On the season, only Carson Wentz has thrown more interceptions. And going into this year, the Bucs defense has achieved at a higher level than was predicted. They have been healthier than the average NFL team. They have added, not lost weapons, they have added weapons over the course of the season with the addition of Antonio Brown. The rookie offensive lineman has been better than expected. The Jensen has been, and Marpet have been as good as expected. So why are they 7-5? Why are there a dozen teams better than them? It seems like the majority of folks want to blame Bruce Arians. Seemed like the broadcast wanted to blame Bruce Arians. I think the quarterback hadn't been good enough. And so I'm not saying Bruce Arians couldn't do a little more to help Brady, but a lot of this is on the quarterback. And yesterday, as bad as the defense on Tyreek Hill was, they held the Chiefs 27 points. That's almost a touchdown under their season average. The defense did its job, and the offense could not hold up its end of the bargain, Brandon.
Well, Nick, can it be both? Why does it have to be just one guy? I think, in any sport, on any team, it comes down to everybody involved, right? So, yeah, I do think Tom Brady, obviously, as the quarterback, the face of the franchise, one of the faces of the NFL, has a lot to do with it. But Bruce Arians as well. The wide receivers, the offensive line, the defense playing one-on-one against the most explosive offense and players in football. So I think it's all of them. And then it's getting interesting now because there's reports coming out from the NFL Network and Silver saying, well, this is Tom Brady's offense. For the last couple weeks, he's been calling it. He's been picking those plays. And that's what I saw. It's like too many chefs in the kitchen right now. What offense do we get? Is it really Tom Brady's or is it Bruce Arians? And I know that's a topic on every sports show right now. Is about their offense, and is it Tom Brady's or is it Bruce Arians? Well, when you look at that game, there's no rhythm. They're not in sync. That first quarter was the longest first quarter that I've ever saw. It was so bad. The Chiefs were taking off, and then when you see Tom Brady and the frustration on the field, on the sideline, they're taking shots down the field. They're trying to play the quick game. They're trying to think. They're thinking about running the ball. I didn't know what they were trying to accomplish. You couldn't tell where they were trying to attack. That game plan, to me, was terrible.
Yeah, but Brandon, does the game plan go out the window once you're down big in the first quarter and Tyreek Hill has 200 yards? Do you feel like Bruce Arians had one plan to go into the game and then you're like, uh-oh, we're getting torched here. Now we have to throw the ball 75% of the time when before maybe that wasn't the game plan?
Well, sometimes that's immature coaches, that's immature teams, right? Like you look at the tendency. That's what the game plan is. Where are they challenged? Where are they weak? And let's attack them there. You know what they're going to do on first down in the first quarter, second down. You know what they're going to do in situational football. You know what they do when they're ahead. So what they should have focused on is maybe running the ball more. They're giving up almost 5 yards a carry.
I agree.
So why did we only run it 13 times? Yeah. Even when they were down 17-0, I was still thinking this is the time to lean into the run, because if you saw that passing game, I don't know if you watched it that closely, but it was a mess. I mean, they were trying to take shots. They were trying to play the dink and dunk game. You know, every once in a while they would run the ball. They didn't want to commit to it. It was a terrible display of game planning in my mind.
Vic, I want to ask you a question. Aside from names on a roster, what evidence do we have that this Bucs team is more than an above-average football team? They've played 12 games. They're 7-5. They're 1-4 against playoff teams. I would argue they have looked outstanding for 2 weeks all year. The Packers-Raiders game. The 5 games before, they were 3-2. The 5 games since, they're 2-3. And one of those wins is a by the skin of your teeth win over the Giants. Like, at what point are they what they've shown to be over 3 quarters of the season, which is an above-average team and a non-Super Bowl threat?
Yeah, well, this is a team who has more than enough talent, and that goes without saying. But I think it goes back to what Brandon just said. They don't have an identity, and any offense has to have an identity. Either you're going to come out firing it or you're going to come out running it. And I think they get caught in between. What should we do? What should we do? And then, like Wiles touched on, they got behind early. So then the game plan that you come into the game with goes out the window. So, you know, they get stuck in, you know, tough spots, you know, and I see it happening every other week. And yesterday was just another one of those moments where you get down 21 or whatever it was, and now you have no game plan. You got to just pass the football, and then you go into panic mode naturally. I'm sorry, Jenna.
Right. No, I was going to say, I agree with you. It's not just that they don't have an identity. I don't think anyone even knows whose offense is it. Is it Brady's offense or is it Bruce Arians' offense? I think it all folds into one. But on the other side of the ball, the Chiefs, they know who they are and they know who's throwing the ball. Mahomes making it look easy and effortless. He put together a 462-yard, 3-touchdown day. Tyreek Hill had his way with the Bucs secondary, catching all 3 of those touchdown passes. We go back to you, Mike, since I obviously missed the joke. How impressive was Mahomes and Tyreek Hill connecting for, what, 269 yards, 3 touchdowns on the day? How impressive was that?
It was very impressive, and I always say this. You know, I tell everybody, Andy Reid matches his play calling with this talent, and it's evident. You know, Andy, I know exactly went into this game saying, look, we're going to match Tyreek Hill up on their worst defender. And he's going to point out the worst defender to the entire offense. And this is how we're going to attack him. And it's plays designed to get the ball into the hands of Tyreek one-on-one in these matchups. And it's obviously up to Patrick Mahomes to find a matchup. But, you know, I mean, this is game planning. This is game planning. That's why it looks so easy for Patrick and Tyreek to go out and make these type of plays, because they game planned for it. They saw it on film. They knew exactly what they was going to do. And it's the same thing that the Bucs should be doing with the guys on their offense. They just can't do it for some reason. So, you know, I know we talked about the players and we talked about Brady, but, you know, we got to talk about the coaching at the same time.
Yeah, Mike, but, man, if I'm an opposing defense and defensive coordinator, what do you do? I mean, let's forget Tyreek Hill right now. Think about Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce, when you watch that game, it's like butter. I don't know exactly what that means. Like, oh, it's like butter. You hear a lot of basketball players say it's like butter when they get their shot off. But every time he throw, Mahomes throw the ball to Travis Kelce, he's wide open. This dude can literally catch 20, 30 passes a game if they chose to. So when you have that on the other side, like, what do you do with Tyreek Hill? the fastest player in the NFL, probably the quickest player in the NFL. He's reliable. He has amazing hands. His football IQ at the position is off the charts. So what do? You play cover one. You take away Travis Kelce. You don't have help over the top when it comes to Tyreek. This is exactly what's going to happen to you. Like any dog #1 receiver playing one-on-one, no safety help, will easily go for 150 yards, Nick, 175